I have scoured the internet to see if I could find some of the best low-cost terrain out there for fantasy miniature games, and I think I might have just hit the jackpot. See, I recently teamed up with some other hobby creators to scratch build our own pieces of terrain. More on that later, and I personally just love being able to put beautiful pieces of terrain out on the table for people to enjoy during my games. It helps them get excited for the game and be more immersed, and that in turn makes me happy. But with the world being the way that it is at the minute, every penny counts and terrain can be incredibly expensive. So I wanted to see if you could find cool pieces of terrain for less than £5, and the best place to find a bargain like that is on Etsy. Now obviously we're not going to come across massive pieces of terrain that could act as a centerpiece and perfectly suit the theme for less than £5. Surely not. So realistically, we're looking for smaller pieces of terrain that will help fill out our tables, act as decoration, and just add some flavor. And speaking of flavor, this is the first piece of terrain that I picked up. This little cauldron cost £3.15, and this would work perfectly as a stew pot in your tabletop bandit camps, or something a little more sinister if you were recreating a hag den from Elder Scrolls or something like that. It's 3D printed, the print quality is stunning, and you can find it as well as all the other pieces I'm showcasing today linked down in the video description. So these weapon and armour racks came from the same Etsy shop. It cost £3.55 and they come as a pair, and I just think they look great. Again, amazing print quality, and I think they'll look great as interior decoration in my games of Elder Scrolls Call to Arms. Now this piece of terrain is insane, I love it. This is a trapdoor from Woofu Workshop on Etsy. Not only does this act as a great objective marker for your tabletop RPG or tabletop games as a way for your heroes to enter the next stage of the map, it actually opens up, which I thought is awesome. This cost £3, it's FDM printed, paints up a treat. I really love this piece because of the opening doors, and Woofu Workshop is equally offering 10% off any order from their store. All you've got to do is use the discount code that's listed in the video description. There are some amazing terrain pieces on their store, and the print quality is fantastic. If you're looking for something a little less urban though and need something a little more scenic, this little scenic log costs £3.33 from Ganon 3D on Etsy. It took me like 15 minutes to paint it, and it can be used not only in my fantasy minigames, but could probably work in pretty much any miniature game I have. You only get one log per order, but it is pretty neat. Now every time I make a video like this, I always like to include one big piece, one showstopper. But before I show it to you, I recently teamed up with some other hobby content creators that I love to create a terrain piece that would work in Fallout Wasteland Warfare. We could 3D print, scratch build, scavenge, and steal, but it had to fit on a base that was roughly the size of a CD disc. I teamed up with Crafty Rick, LR Tabletop, Wargame News Radio, and Oakbrush Workshop, and the pieces they came up with are immensely better than mine. They created nukes launching, noodle restaurants, insanely urban streets and campsites, and I created an abandoned medical facility statue out of a Mario amiibo. Yeah. You can find links to everyone's work down in the video description as well, and if you want to support smaller hobby creators, please do go and follow them, check them out, and say hi. But now for the showstopper piece of this video. Now this piece right here did not cost less than £5, it was instead £15.25, but I thought it looked so cool I just had to include it. I think this will definitely be an Elder Scrolls Call to Arms piece for recreating a dragon burial ground, but it's just massive, and I think it's still great value for money at the price point that it's at. Now this isn't the only time I've scoured the internet for you finding really cool pieces of terrain. If you want to find more cool terrain pieces for your fantasy games, you can click this video right here. Or if you want something a little more irradiated for your post-apocalyptic games, you can check out this video right here.